Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. I got the wife with me.
Hello.
And who are we talking about? It's Tony Hinchcliffe, Joe Rogan, and they're talking about
Michael Hastings.
It's a conspiracy that doesn't seem like a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Let's get into the story of Michael Hastings. I think he messed up really bad.
Yeah.
I think he messed up really bad. You have some information on that, right?
Oh yeah, lots of it.
We also have the video of his car, but I don't know if we can show that.
I don't think so.
Because it's pretty explosive, but let's get into the episode. Don't forget about IamCoachColin.com. We got Sold Not For Sale, the new edition. We got George Orwell Was Right, and we have, of course, the OG, Public Enemy #1. Can't wait to talk about what they did or what they're doing currently, because it's Monday right now.
Davos 2024.
Yeah, let's get into that later. I'm going to find some videos on Davos first. They usually release videos, and then we'll talk about it. But let's get into this clip right now, folks.
What do I have it under? I think I have it under government. I have too many categories. I have disasters. The disasters one is insane. There's so many disasters that you can find on the internet now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find
I like, I think it's thieves getting fucked or robbers getting fucked, where people try to steal things and they run into like a cashier with a gun.
Oh, those are always fun.
Yeah.
I have an entire folder dedicated to Kamala Harris.
Oh, yeah.
All the most ridiculous shit she says.
Everything. She can't do anything. Has she ever said anything not crazy? Oh, this is hysterical.
Yeah. There it is. Oh, you found it, Jamie. Thank you. So please.
I mean, Obama be the hidden puppet master for this administration, but there's no evidence. There's no evidence. There's no evidence that Obama is Joe's puppet master. There's none. Absolutely none. None. And that is just a fact. You can't say that it looks like my hair is the dirty mop the janitor is looking for. You can't say that it looks like I lazily slapped on some of Big Mike's lipstick and horrific
AI.
That's wild.
AI is insane. I mean, we are going to have no idea what's real or what's fake within a couple of years.
Yeah.
We don't know. We just don't know.
Right.
You could have everything from people crying about a crime that never committed. Like you could have a disaster that's fake, and a bunch of fake people crying about that disaster and telling their story of what happened, and they're not even real people. It's all CGI. You're going to be able to there's no telling. Committing crimes, natural disasters.
Right.
You're never going to know.
Yeah.
Speaking of natural disasters, did you see that video? They got a volcano camera that's pointed at this camera in Iceland, and they caught it the moment the volcano erupted. Oh, it's wild. Iceland has some volcanoes, son, and they popped a few years back. Remember, the flights were fucked up and no one could fly? You remember that?
In Iceland?
Yeah. When the problem is when they eject all that stuff into the atmosphere, you can't see.
Right.
So it takes like a long time for that stuff to go down where people can fly. Watch this. It's really cool.
The volcano.
Yeah, it went boom. Look at that. That's it popping. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
They caught the moment it blew. So it's spraying, and the video of it going down the mountainside, this is the video of it going down the mountainside. How amazing is that, man?
That's crazy.
The literal blood of the earth pouring out of a fucking staph infection.
Oh, my God.
Look at that. Isn't that incredible?
Unbelievable.
That's how continents are made, kids.
Wow.
That's how Hawaii got made. These dudes just chilling. It goes off every couple of years. So what happened was that volcano went off, and there was a Rolling Stone reporter that was embedded. I think it was in Iraq, and they got too comfortable with this dude being around, and they started because he was stuck because he couldn't fly out. So he was there a lot longer than he was supposed to be, and he reported a bunch of shit that they had said about Obama. Is that Mount St. Helens? No, that's the other one.
It's the 2010 eruption.
Yeah, so this was when it happened.
Wow.
So
I don't know how to say that
what
word.
was the guy's name? The reporter, Michael
Hastings.
So he reported that this general was like being very dismissive of Obama and insulting Obama, and he printed it in the Rolling Stone. And so this general had to resign. And so when this general resigned, this guy Hastings is fucked. He's fucked. Right, and he starts saying, "Hey, I think people are following me. I think people are trying to kill me."
He was still in Iraq at the time?
No, he came back to America. And so he was. So listen.
Yeah.
So he's saying that and then his car goes 125 miles an hour on Sunset Boulevard right into a tree.
Yeah, he had an electric car, right?
No, there was no electric cars back then.
Or it was
McChrystal's exit. Yeah, volcanic intervention. So the volcano blew up, and this guy got stuck there. It says "The Runaway General" is the title of this story. And so this guy, Michael Hastings, this is like the conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Because his car goes 125 miles an hour right into a fucking tree, boom, and blows up. The engine was like, it wasn't like a regular accident. Like, it was a big one. Like, it was a big fucking accident. And either he did it on purpose, like he was trying to kill himself. Like, this is it. There's a video of it. I mean, this dude is fucking flying down the street.
Funny for your reference, it's in LA off La Brea.
Oh, it's
down
off-
La Brea,
oh,
off of
it's-
Santa Monica.
Look at that. Look how fast he's going. Boom.
He hit one of those giant palm trees that's in the middle of the road there.
And look at that explosion.
It wasn't.
I thought it was on Sunset. It was, no, it was on
No,
Sunset?
he was going down La Brea south, I believe.
Okay.
It wasn't a self-driving car.
No. But it was a Mercedes.
2010, they didn't have him then.
No, but what they did have is technology that would allow.
Right.
They had computers in cars back
Yeah,
then.
that's-
and so the question was,
Right.
do we have the technology to take over someone's car? All you'd have to do is just make it accelerate. You wouldn't necessarily have to point it towards a tree.
Oh, yeah.
You just have it go 120 miles an hour. If you don't
Gonna
care
run
about
into
who
something.
it hits,
Yeah.
if you don't care about the other people, which,
Say it's the middle of the night, which I think this was, right?
Yeah, you just hit it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this guy can't slow his car down. It's impossible to slow the car down. It takes over the engine. You don't have to be able to steer it. You don't have to have self-steering technology. Just have control the accelerator.
Oh, yeah.
And if you have a computer, if the car is run by a computer, which was this a 2010 car? What kind of car was it?
I believe it was I'll have to check now. Hold on.
I want to say it was a Mercedes.
I know it was a Mercedes, but I don't know the actual year the car was.
Listen, they had that ability back then. They had the ability to do that to the enemy if they want. Like if you're in Afghanistan or whatever, and you want to make someone's car, you could rig it like that. I'm sure they could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a computer in the car, 2010, it's not that long ago. Seems like it is. 13 years.
Yeah.
13 years ago is crazy to think that technology has moved so far from 13 years ago. Like if it was today, you would say 100% they could do that.
Yeah.
But I think they could do that 13 years ago. And so that was the big conspiracy theory that they whacked this dude because he got McChrystal fired.
Damn.
Which they probably did.
Yeah, they can. And the more we find
They might
out,
have.
the more it seems like that stuff happens quite a bit.
And then there was some talk about his blood work. They did blood work on Hastings after he's dead, and he tested positive for amphetamines. But the dirty secret about journalists is a lot of them are on Adderall. A lot of them. It's how they make deadlines. Like for the guys that I know that have taken it, they've been pretty forthcoming about it and saying it's a life changer. Just like I get so much shit done. Of course, you're on meth.
Yeah.
You're on amphetamines.
Yeah.
So they were saying that he was on amphetamines. He was just cranked out of his mind, and he did that on purpose, which is a possibility. You fucking never know. Sometimes if people think the government's trying to kill them, maybe they crack under pressure.
Yeah.
And they just fucking, I can't take this anymore. I'm just going to drive into a tree.
That's a weird way to kill yourself.
It is, but it's not outside the realm of possibility. Right. But also, if you wanted to have a juicy conspiracy narrative, you wanted to go all Sam Tripoli on that.
Yeah. Very suspicious.
Yeah.
He
It's
could-
very suspicious.
Especially since he could have killed himself going full Joe versus the volcano, right? That would have been the classy way to do it when he had a
Well,
chance.
he wasn't near the volcano.
Right.
Yeah, if he wanted to take a flight over, yeah, he can't. Yeah, but he didn't know that they were going to come for him after that. But that's what they do in that world. They try to take things down. You know, if you're a journalist and you're embedded with these guys and they say something juicy, you can take them down with this juicy thing. This is just what you do, whether or not it's good for the country or not. And that guy was beloved. Apparently, he was just great general. And all of a sudden, he's not a general anymore because of a reporter. Oof. Right. And who are his people? The people that are like the professional killers of the world.
Yeah.
That are legally allowed to kill people.
And secretly.
Yeah. Guess what, fuckface?
Yeah.
You just made a big mistake.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I was his friend. I know that's what your job is, but you can make a juicy article just about how hard it is over there and how crazy it is over there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be better?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better to, like, instead of like some backhanded shit that he's saying to the troops, which they all believe anyway?
Right.
Like, what do you care?
Yeah.
Don't report that, dude. You're going to get him in trouble. Why would you get that guy in trouble?
Man.
It's just such a dangerous game you're playing.
It is wild. It makes me worry about, I mean, Trump is such a threat, supposedly, to the military that wants to do things, and he wants to bring them back, which he's proven time and time again. And, like, I don't know.
There's a
Whew. A lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So picture it. You're in a car. Look at that. Look at Tony's face. I caught him in a very compromising position. You're in your car. You just had a long day. And you're like, oh, man, another day. What else do I got to write? And then all of a sudden, your car just goes.
Oh, no.
All the doors lock. And you go, what the? Did I just? You try to unlock it. It doesn't unlock.
Yeah. no.
You start looking, it's going up, and it's gone. And you're just like, what is happening right now? Steering wheel's completely locked. Could you imagine?
No, that's so scary.
Oh my
And the
God.
brakes don't even work or anything.
Ooh, yeah. Brakes are just, nothing's happening. It's just
Yeah.
like, you're just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Can't even get the windows down to yell to somebody. Whew. Because that's the whole thing, right? It must have locked for him to not jump out.
Yeah.
Because you got to jump out.
Yeah.
You know, if that's happening. if
Yeah,
you
I was
can.
thinking, I was like, even if it was going at whatever speed
Yeah.
and you couldn't do anything, like, I was like, what would I do? And I was like, I don't know, maybe try and like head toward a body of water.
Yeah.
Like,
if
but
you
then
can,
you just, if you still can't get out, then.
if you can steer, right?
Yeah.
If you can't steer.
True.
Oh, man.
True.
It's done. That's terrible. Terrifying. Terrifying to think.
Yeah.
But that's what happens.
Yeah.
That and it's such an odd thing to say, but that is what happens sometimes in other parts of the world. We never think that North America has anything like that going on
Yeah.
because we're the good guys in the whole. Trudeau's a communist and stuff, but for the most part, got a lot of good guys. You never think of that. You think that's like some Russia stuff.
Well, it reminds me of even Princess Diana.
Yeah, yeah, very true.
Very kind of similar situation.
There's a whole thing to that. You know that.
Oh, I
right?
know.
Oh no, I don't think you do.
Okay, tell me later.
There's a whole thing. We'll get into it. Get into it another time. They were like in that tunnel for a minute. They were like in. We'll talk about it. They're in there for a minute though. Interesting stuff. But Michael Hastings.
Yeah.
Let's get into that. I will say this before we get into it. I know two people who actually did do that. They tried to do that. I have one friend that actually tried to do that and wasn't successful.
Tried to do what?
Tried to drive his car and
Oh, geez.
do that. Yeah. And he got very badly injured, but he did not. He lived.
Yeah.
And then I was at an entrepreneur. I was at a conference for a bunch of people who work for themselves, entrepreneurs. And the keynote speaker actually had a story about doing that exact same thing in California. Yeah.
Wow.
He just did the exact same thing. He drank a bunch and just tried to do that. And then at the last second kind of thought of the people that he loves and love him and kind of steered away from what he was doing and just like stopped and like caught himself and said,
That's
and
crazy.
kind of changed his life. Went from like a hustle mentality, like everything's about hustle, to there should be some kind of balance in these worlds that we're in.
Yeah.
Of media and working for yourself and all that stuff. So
That's
so
crazy.
just to say, because it sounds like Tony brings up like it's a weird way to do that type of thing, but I've heard two cases of it actually.
I don't think it's that weird, especially when people talk about like intrusive thoughts. Like that's one of the first ones that pops in. Like, what would happen if I just drove my car off this bridge? Like people talk about that all the time.
Jesus. Well, I'm gonna be driving from now on.
You always drive anyway.
Yeah. I'm gonna be driving from now on. No, I never have that.
No?
No. An intrusive thought I have sometimes. I'm talking to somebody and I'm like, what would happen if I spit on them?
Really?
Yeah. They'll be talking to
So
me.
you're more like people things.
Yeah, I'll be like, what would happen? They fight me, and then I'd have to fight. And, it'd be so, and I'd feel terrible. Such a stupid thought.
Wow.
I haven't had that thought in years. When I was younger, I usuld to think that. Like, what would
Yeah.
happen if I was so stupid back then?
Well, my weird intrusive thought that was like stealing something from the Walmart. The homework.
You'd cry. You'd cry, 100%.
Yeah.
You'd cry if you got caught.
Stealing homework.
But let's get into Michael Hastings.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
Can you
Okay.
open the first article I sent you? It's a Rolling Stone article.
And you know what? Also, the fact that he's from the Rolling Stone and he decided to do something like this.
Yeah.
They're usually, I guess it kind of does line up because at that time, it's like Obama's like an angel.
Yes.
It's like you're talking about the angel.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Yes We Can guy. I have to rat you guys out.
Yeah.
So I guess it kind of makes sense. That's Rolling
But you'll
Stone.
see too, like as Michael Hastings kind of develops after this article comes out, he isn't like that anymore.
Oh.
And
okay.
I'll show you what I mean later on.
Okay.
So this is the article that ended up getting this general. He resigned.
This is the one?
Yeah, the general is that guy right there looking
The
at
runaway general.
us. Yeah.
I've seen this guy's face. This
Yeah,
guy?
he's still like, yeah, that guy.
I've seen this guy. Huh. I wonder if Tucker's interviewed this guy.
Maybe.
I've seen him before. The runaway general.
Yeah.
The profile that brought down McChrystal.
Yeah, that's his name, Stanley McChrystal. He actually comes from like a very long line of military family members. Like his dad was a general, his grandfather was a general. And like somewhere way down the line, there was like someone was a general who like fought in World War II in his family. And like all of his brothers and sisters are either married to military or are military themselves. So
Wow.
that's just the life they live.
And then to get him fired.
Yeah.
Or have to resign.
Yeah,
That's actually terrible.
it's a lot.
I didn't realize that. That's why he was so beloved. Because like,
Especially like when we take a look and see the things that he actually said, it's not that bad.
well, it's probably just stuff like, I don't like Obama, this, that.
Well, yeah, it's not, honestly, not even that. Do you want to open the next article I sent you? It just breaks down. It's from the week. Yeah. It's the 5 insubordinate quotes. So kind of the 5 things that he was forced to resign for saying.
I can't believe that. Can't believe they got him like that.
Yeah.
You gotta leave the locker room talk. Leave him alone. Everybody talks about the boss, and the
Yeah.
boss leaves the room.
Well, the issue was, like Joe was saying, that volcano went off. So there's so much ash in the atmosphere, nobody could fly.
Yeah.
So this reporter was over there with them and was only supposed to spend a few days. And they were supposed to fly back. So I guess he joined them in Paris, where McChrystal was supposed to meet with some government official there
Okay.
to kind of keep France's troops in Afghanistan with them. And then they were supposed to fly back to Afghanistan. But because they couldn't make that flight, they had to take a bus
Okay.
from Paris to Afghanistan.
So they're bonding.
Yeah.
They're like, this
So they were
guy's-
just hanging out on the bus.
they're
And this
cool.
is where that came
this
from.
This guy's cool.
Yeah.
You know, they probably laugh a little. You know, you're eating together.
Yeah, they were like drinking and
Plus,
stuff.
there are a bunch of guys who are around each other, and they're like, it's brotherhood between us.
Yeah.
like,
They probably don't
forever.
even think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially like military guys in the same group.
Yeah.
Like it's so loyal.
Yeah, of course. And then you got one guy who's just like, oh, I went to school for poli-science, and I'm a photographer for years, and now I'm a journalist for the Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So the first one was that Obama didn't seem very engaged. And this wasn't even said by McChrystal. It was said by one of his advisors.
Didn't seem very engaged, so they were like talking about how maybe they were presenting something to him, and he didn't seem engaged in the whole thing. Is that what this
So
is?
when McChrystal was appointed to the post that he had, Obama met with him in the Oval Office, and McChrystal said to this advisor, allegedly, that it was just like a photo op, and Obama didn't seem very engaged.
Oh, Obama clearly didn't know anything about McChrystal
Yeah.
or who he was. He didn't seem very engaged. McChrystal was very disappointed. That was the bombshell.
Yes. And
Does
this was
that-
from the advisor, not the general himself.
But you know what? Obama probably didn't know about him.
No, he probably had no idea.
Probably didn't know.
He
that
was
has
probably
family and
told
this and
who to
that.
appoint, because like how would he know either?
Let me tell you something. There's another president who, you know, not the current one, but one before, who would have never let this happen.
Well, that's funny because this general actually had beef with that president.
Oh, no way. You had beef with Trump?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I thought we weren't saying it.
It's a funny little platform. When we talk negatively about this person, it's fine. But when
Yeah.
we talk positively about him, it's not okay. I see how it goes. It's
Yeah, but McChrystal did not like that guy.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And he had
Jeez.
gone on record like recently
Actually-
saying
Go ahead.
that Biden would be much better for the U.S. than him.
Oh, so McChrystal went crazy. How about that? No, I get that because the whole military had an issue with Trump because he called out the industrial complex.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
And especially this guy coming from a very deep military family.
he was like, this doesn't need to happen. We don't need to go to war. He was very, very against it, wanted to pull troops. And there was a certain ceremony. I think it was when he first took office, and he was talking about having all of this stop, all this war. and everybody got up and applauded, but all the military guys
Yeah.
just stayed seated and didn't move.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's
It was
crazy.
like a bunch of them. So I get it.
Interesting.
I mean, and you know what? Deep state. That's how that goes.
Yeah.
The deep state. It's the people that you don't see. The generals. Lyman
Lemnitzer.
him, guys like that. They're super deep. You never see them, and they're around forever.
Yeah.
So there's probably a good portion of the military that had way more respect for that guy. Well, I would say all the military, way more respect for that guy than the president.
Yeah.
And it probably doesn't matter what president it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the presidents don't have any military background. They're usually like governors or senators
Yeah.
who made their way up, but they don't
Yeah.
know what they're doing.
I feel like that, like, I don't know. You think that should, I think it'd be good.
Having a military president?
Yeah.
I don't think it would be good. Like John McCain.
John
He was
McCain.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
he was like a warmonger kind of guy.
Yeah, but like he's different. He was more politician than, like, I know he went to war and everything, but he's a little more politician than anything. I mean, like a real grizzled dude,
Like this dude?
like Jocko, like Tim
That'd be
Kennedy.
crazy. Oh
Like
my
Tim
gosh.
Kennedy.
No, I don't trust Tim Kennedy. No. He's still on the payroll.
Tim Kennedy would be a tremendous president. Tim Kennedy, he has that quote he says at the end of the last episode he was on Joe Rogan. He's like, let's just cut the brass tacks. When it comes to my family, I will wear your skin.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine he's
That's
saying
so
that?
crazy.
He has a meeting with China. I will wear everybody's skin in this room.
That's so freaky.
Do you understand me? I have dealt death and evil throughout the world.
He comes in with like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre mask just to make the point.
Oh man. Okay. Just joking. What's the next quote? Let's go on.
So one of the advisors again called the National Security Advisor, Jim Jones, called him a clown.
Yeah, this is all just locker room
It's
talk.
not that
It's
bad.
so silly that this guy, but you know what? That's part of it. That's part of that whole, woke movement. Rolling Stone, I think I can safely call them very, very woke.
Yes. Agreed.
So this is part of it. You're just taking little things, completely taken out of context. You're making them so serious.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with comedy. When it's written down on paper, everybody gets all up in arms. But these were probably just passing comments. Didn't have any. It's not like they were going to try and overthrow Obama or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jim Jones is a clown.
Yeah. And it's said to be stuck in 1985. And then the next one is talking about Carl Eikenberry, who's the U.S. ambassador in Afghanistan. And he said, so this is one that McChrystal actually said. He said that he felt betrayed by the ambassador after the ambassador questioned his request for more troops. And the general said about him that here's one that covers his flanks for the history books. Now, if we fail, they can say, I told you so.
Joe's so right. I would have just been like, bro, this is not the thing. Like, don't even worry about this. This is silly. Don't do this. This could be big trouble for you. Trust me, you're not ready for this.
Yeah, they probably didn't even know he was going to write all this.
No, they didn't, because they were like off the record. They probably had a back and forth in an interview and sitting down. And then this stuff is probably just stuff that he just kept in mind and just wrote it down after.
Yeah.
Because if he was actively writing as they were talking, they'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
So he was like a little spy.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would have been like, buddy, don't forget this. This is silly. Just do a listicle. Just do like a top 10 or something.
Yes, exactly.
Find something else to do.
I love it. It just turned into a listicle right here.
Yeah.
And then number 4 is that this one I would say is kind of the biggest.
Oh yeah.
So this one, McChrystal had openly denounced Biden's strategy for the Afghanistan situation. And then he went on to say, like, Biden, did you say bite me? After he had been admonished about what he said about Biden.
Biden, did you say bite me?
Yeah.
Huh, that's so funny. It's not even that funny.
It's not.
It's just whatever.
Yeah. But I think that was more the issue because he had been called into the Oval Office to discuss him publicly talking about Biden's war strategy. And then he said this after.
Well, that's just how these guys talk. It's very silly. I didn't even know this is what was said. I thought it was some more like
Yeah, no, it's
really
nothing.
directed towards Obama, really didn't like him, like really going at him.
Nope.
This is basically nothing.
No, it's like nothing. This is like less bad than the average person complaining about their boss.
Oh yeah. What? Oh my God.
Exactly.
How do you feel about that? You're always a boss. People probably talk about you.
I know they talk about me, and it doesn't bother me at all. That's how people bond.
Yeah, that's true too.
If
That's
they
true,
need
too.
a villain, that's fine. Like, I don't pretend to be anybody's friend.
Yeah.
I treat everyone fairly, and I think they know that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go fire somebody if they said any of these.
Yeah, that's true. That's what
I
me-
would ask them, why are you telling me this?
That's
Because that's ridiculous.
that's what me and the kids are gonna do.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're gonna bond over that.
That's fine. Well, you can't talk badly to the kids, but the kids can talk badly about me.
Yeah, and I'll be like, listen.
No, you can't join in.
Before you guys even, you know what she did when we first met.
You can't do that.
Of course I will.
And then the last one on this list is talking about the State Department's envoy to the region. I don't even know what that position is, but Richard Holbrooke. McChrystal said, "Oh, not another email from Holbrooke. I don't even want to open it." And then he went on to say, McChrystal thinks that Holbrooke is hearing rumors that he's going to get fired. So he's like a wounded animal and it makes him dangerous.
It's wise coming from a general.
Yeah.
Generals know what's up. It's very wise.
And again, that's not bad. It's not even about Obama.
It's so wild. It so shows Obama's, because even I was under the spell of the media and the rappers and everybody.
Everybody loved
pushing.
him.
Yeah. But this kind of shows how, I don't want to say, how bad the reign was. Like this is what's going to prompt you to force a general to resign.
Yeah.
That he just says these little things. Like, he could have just been like, you could have easily just went and apologized to him.
Yeah.
Like, as the president, like as statemently as we all knew Obama to be, you should have went and apologized and said, "Hey, I was very engaged. And I didn't know who you were. I didn't know about your family's history. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Really sorry. Me and Michelle, we were here, and we just wanted to say we apologize.
Yeah.
Done." And he'd be like, "Well, that's it. Good. Okay."
Yeah. Because most of this he didn't even say. It's just from his advisors.
Like, imagine getting rid of a good general because of a couple of things that were said.
Yeah. It's not even anything bad at all.
You kind of really need him. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my take
So
on it.
that's what was said, just so there's a little bit of context before we get into all the craziness about Michael Hastings,
Yeah,
who
let's
wrote
get
this
into
piece.
it. Let's get into it.
So if you go to the next article,
This one here?
yeah.
Okay.
So it's talking about like who killed Michael Hastings, because this was a very big thing that came out. Everybody was talking about it because of the way that he passed
Of course.
and what he was doing kind of right before he passed as well. So if you want to open even the next article from BuzzFeed News, this is the last article that was published that Michael Hastings wrote before he passed.
Why Democrats love to spy on Americans. Whoa.
Yeah. So that's what I was talking about. He kind of changes his tune on Obama and the administration.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah. So this was published 11 days before the crash.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Really? Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting. Most Democrats have abandoned their civil liberty positions during the age of Obama. 100%. Oh, this guy's onto something. With a new leak investigation looming, the Democratic leadership are now being forced to confront all the secrets they've tried to hide. Damn.
Yeah.
Whoa. Michael Hastings. He was also a part of BuzzFeed?
Yes.
Wow.
He was kind of a freelancer. Like, he popped around a little.
Yeah. He seems like almost like he was like about to hit like a Tucker Carlson arc. Like, he's like waking up.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened to Tucker. Tucker like kind of just like woke up. He was like in Fox and he's just like, I'm going to say whatever I want.
Yep.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So this goes on to talk about how the White House is using North Korea-esque tools essential to stop terrorism.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh. So this is quite a long article, just going all into that. So that's kind of the tone
That
of
he-
where he was
before everything.
before the accident happened.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very,
So
very
when the
interesting.
accident happened, it was 4:25 a.m.
Okay.
in the morning, which is a bit weird. So people were saying, like, even like his friends and his family were saying that he had issues with substances.
What, the things that Joe was talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, because most journalists take those kind of things.
Yeah. But one
Journalists
of his
and
friends like flew
anybody
in
who-
from New Jersey
Yeah.
to LA
Yeah.
to like be with him because he was acting weird. Oh, it was his brother or something.
Well, he's acting weird. He was saying people are following me and stuff.
Yeah. And
So
he was
wasn't-
acting manic.
So he wasn't really acting weird. He was
Yeah.
kind of acting the way you would if people were
Yeah.
pursuing you.
But reading
Secretly.
like yes, exactly. Reading all the different accounts, I found it very strange that like the people closest to him all had kind of the same story and nobody was questioning it. Whereas like if somebody close to me passed like that, I'd be questioning it the hardest. You know?
Yeah, of
and not
course.
just saying, "Oh, it was a terrible accident."
Well,
Which is weird that like none of them are questioning it.
well, you know.
And he had a fiance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she was just like, "Oh, it was a horrible accident."
Well, you know, it can seem that way at the same time, right?
Yeah.
When you're looking at the whole thing. Here's the question, though. You know, Joe's talking about that technology.
Yeah.
You think they have that technology? I wish we had your brother here. He could tell us right away. He'd be like, yeah, of course. He could just tell us
Yeah.
right away.
Well, even
think
like
so.
knowing a tiny, tiny fraction of like what my brother does for cars, he's literally handed me a computer code reader before
Is this legal?
that you plug in. Yes.
Okay.
It's what mechanics do.
Okay.
So there's like this panel under the steering wheel
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
that you
yeah.
can pop out and you just attach this code reader and you can change the codes on the dash. So you can like turn off lights.
You know what
So
just
if
happened?
your engine light is on and you're trying to sell your car, you just turn it off.
I just had deja vu. I just had such bad deja vu.
Did you?
Yeah. That's so weird. Oh, man. That was so weird.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So like even just knowing that, to extrapolate that into other technology, that wouldn't be difficult. Because all you'd have to do is like go in, plug in something that's like a remote access.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
send a signal through.
That's it.
That's it.
And then you go a step further when you have like real technology,
Yeah.
you know, like heavy duty technology, and you probably don't even have to do that first little step you're talking about.
True. Yeah. There was
Who knows?
a former U.S. National Coordinator for Security, Infrastructure Protection, and Counterterrorism.
Okay.
That was his title. His name was Richard A. Clark. And he
Is
said,
this an article I'm supposed to have up? Or
no, it's just
Okay.
like a little piece of the Wikipedia that I thought was interesting, but I
Okay.
couldn't find an article about it.
Yeah.
He said what was known about the crash is consistent with a car cyber attack. So this isn't counterterrorism guy, and he's saying this.
True.
So he was quoted as saying, "There is a reason to believe that intelligence agencies for major powers, including the United States, know how to remotely seize control of a car. So if there was a cyber attack on the car, I'm not saying there was, I think whoever did it would probably get away with it."
Yeah.
That's what he said.
I'm not saying that's what happened, but you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
End of sentence.
The other thing that was interesting is apparently there was a witness who said that the car was creating sparks and flames before the impact.
Oh, a witness said?
Yeah.
So it was going so fast that it was causing sparks. That doesn't really happen
No.
unless you're like hitting bumps. But it didn't even look like that from the
It
video.
didn't. Yeah. It
just
looked like a
it was
straight. Yeah.
just on a solid road.
Yeah.
But also when you're going that, I don't know.
I don't know.
Sparks seem weird.
Yeah.
But the whole thing seems weird, right? From beginning to end. Anytime you have something like that happen, and then something like that happens to a journalist,
Yeah.
it looks terrible.
And then there was another interesting thing that was before he left, I guess the night before, he had gone to his neighbor and begged to borrow her car. But she said no.
Why?
She doesn't know.
He was like, "Can I borrow your car, please?"
Yeah.
Because he felt like
Because he didn't want to drive his own.
Yeah. That's serious.
Yeah, right?
He just let me borrow your car. Wow.
Yeah,
And she's like,
that's
no.
what she claimed. She said no.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
I knew a deep dive on this would be telling.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that come out, eh?
Fun, we'll say. Yeah, of course. Of course. When you look at something with a certain lens, a more focused lens. Because, like, right away, as soon as I hear that, I'm like, oh, well, I know how that goes.
Yeah.
But also, you can look at it and say, like I said, that's why I brought up the two stories first, because I know that it could easily just be something he did.
Yeah.
know? But then as you go through everything, it's like, this is interesting. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, like the question I posed to you, I posed to myself, do I think that technology existed at that time? 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
We're just not supposed to know about it.
Yeah. I mean, I used to know how to navigate computers quite well, I'll say, when I was a kid. I was like 14. I learned how to do all sorts of things with computers. And then I stopped because I got into girls and weed. But yeah, my dad was into computer tech for a while, like to the point where he could like make little video games for me and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was like really into computers. Like got really, really into it, and I was just getting high instead. But I got to a point where I was like, oh, this is like, shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to like that point, and I was like, let me stop.
Huh.
Let me just stop. And then
Interesting.
Napster came out, and I was like, yeah, I'll just listen to music and
Yeah, true.
smoke weed.
Yeah.
It's way funner. Way
There you
fun.
go.
I think. I could be in a much better position if I just focused on computers. But who knows? But then I wouldn't have met you,
Yeah, that's true. Everything works out.
you know?
And then apparently, before the day of the crash, Hastings had sent an email to his colleagues at BuzzFeed saying that he was onto a big story and needed to go off the radar. And then continued saying that the FBI might interview some of the colleagues.
Really?
So he was giving them a heads up that the FBI might come asking.
And he was on to a big story.
That's what he said.
Whoa.
And then it was announced on WikiLeaks that he had contacted his lawyer a couple hours before the crash.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So much stuff there.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder when you hear stuff like that. Like, oh, I'm on to a big story. This is happening. That's happening. Why doesn't anything happen to Tucker? Why doesn't anything happen to James O'Keefe? Like, it really makes me wonder. Like, I always like, I'm looking at everybody with that kind of possible controlled opposition lens. But I love Tucker.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the black Tucker Carlson. Of course I love Tucker. But it just makes me wonder sometimes,
Yeah.
you know? Like, why do they get to say it? And other people end up doing stuff like that to themselves. I don't know. It's just something that always pops into my head. Like,
Yeah.
how are they doing it?
Yeah.
How am I doing it? I don't know. I don't know how it all works.
The other weird connection here is, have you heard of the guy Cenk Uygur? He's was
Say
a
that name again?
Cenk Uygur.
No.
He was a presidential candidate, which is absolutely ridiculous because he wasn't even born here. So he can't be president. So I don't know why he's.
Wait. You're talking about Jank.
Is that his name? It's with the C.
From
I've
the
never
Young-
heard it
from the
written
Young
down.
Turks.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I do not like that gentleman.
He was
at
friends
all.
with Michael Hastings.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I wonder what he has to say about Michael Hastings.
He said.
Oh, you have something? You have a quote?
Yeah, he said many of Michael's friends were concerned that he was in a very agitated state, saying that he was incredibly tense and worried that his material was being surveilled by the government. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's for sure controlled.
How do you say it? Jank?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jank or Seaga. I don't care. Young Turks guy. Jimmy Dore used to work with those guys.
Yeah.
He was on the Young Turks at some point, and he started really waking up. He kind of had that Carlson moment where he just kind of woke up to these guys and what they were really about, and he went to war hard with them. Like hard
really?
back and forth. Yeah. He wasn't playing around. I think those guys are controlled over at the Young Turks. I think for sure they're controlled.
Interesting.
They seem controlled. They seem oddly controlled. I don't know. I always think stuff like that. But especially with him, he is an annoying character.
Is he?
Yeah. When he argues so belligerently with people when he debates them, and it's never in a professional way. It's always doing the things that you get straight from that book, The Rules of Radicals, where you're constantly pushing what you're about onto the other person. You're constantly trying to go about it with name calling, but like not in a funny way. It's so toxic when I see him interact with people.
Yeah.
He's always like, what are you telling me? And it's gross.
That's annoying.
I really don't like that. Every time I see him, I'm like, do not recommend.
Do
please."
not recommend.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
I can't watch their stuff. There's a girl that's on there. She's a little better, but she's about the same kind of stuff. You know, they have the same MO, but at least she's waking up. She's waking up to it where she's like calling out the left.
Oh, that's good.
Like she is the left and she's calling it out.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happened to Jimmy Dore.
Yeah.
He's like, I got to call out the left. I got to call out the right. And I see past everything that you're doing. And she seems like she's going on that path too.
People should just call out what is wrong.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, what's wrong on either side.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter.
And Jimmy's incredible at that. I think he's the only one. There aren't many other people that can do that. Like Dave Smith a little bit. Other than that, because Bill Maher can't really, because he'll just go crazy when he hears Trump. He's like, he's a criminal. He goes nuts. But yeah, Jimmy's the best at it. But yeah, that guy, yeah, he's running for president. He was friends with Michael Hastings. That's nuts.
Interesting.
Easily, he's the type of guy that'll just brush that whole thing under the rug.
Yeah.
He'll just be like, oh man, you have no idea. He's just very, very sick gentleman. He's one of those guys. I don't like that guy. Sorry. What else?
That's about it.
What do you think at the end of the day?
I think there definitely seems to be some kind of foul play.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna try and phrase it that way. Yeah, it seems odd.
Yes.
To me,
there's some weird things going on and some questions that I think should have been more looked into.
100%.
Just investigated instead of just called one thing.
But then at the end of the day, like who are you investigating? That's what you have to look at.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd have to investigate anyone in particular, but there's just a lot of weird things and coincidences.
Once you're going down the road, you're going down the road.
Yeah.
You know? Like it's like they say follow the money. And you can't just be like, I was just following the money. They're like, well, the money led to this island, so now you're in trouble. Okay, buddy? You can't just do that, right? So the second you start questioning it, who are you questioning? You're possibly people who are in McChrystal's ranks, possibly somebody who's above that.
Yeah.
And, do you want to really go down that road?
Yeah, it's true.
So it's like
I don't really think it had anything to do with McChrystal.
I don't know. The way that they were phrasing it, Joe Rogan and Tony.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
They made it seem like
you
it
got
was
the guy. You
right
got
away.
You had the guy resign. It was because of you. He's now doing all this other stuff that you were telling me about.
Yeah.
Everybody hates that. These guys are really beloved. Like more than you can possibly, more than any of us who haven't served could possibly know.
Yeah.
These guys probably love that. Like he's a general. They probably love him more than their fathers.
Yeah, probably. If they spend more time with him, have respect for him.
It's a whole different level.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have your family. You don't know what his family does. We just know that they're in there. You don't know what they are.
Yeah.
They might be like Tim Kennedy times 10.
True.
They might know Tim Kennedy.
But it was like 3 years apart.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't matter. When it comes to stuff like that, it doesn't matter if it's 3 years later. Because you have to think, if you had an issue with somebody, or if somebody had an issue with you, and now because of that issue, it's like you got 3 years left. You'd be like, well, fuck, that's terrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
That's true.
You know, like when you look at it, you're like, oh, that's 3 years apart. Some people are like, yeah, we'll wait 3 years.
I say it's 3 years apart more so because if some agency was involved, I don't think we would see what Michael Hastings was working on, period. I think it would have been taken care of before we saw anything.
What do you mean? What do you mean, the Obama stuff?
No, that came out too. Like he said he was working on a story.
Yeah.
He was investigating people.
Yeah.
whatever that was.
Oh, true. There is, yeah.
You know what I mean?
So now we have no
like,
idea what that
they don't do
was.
things retroactively.
Yeah.
They stop it before it happens.
Well, no. I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, because that was unseen. That was an unseen thing that was happening.
Yeah.
You're just with a guy. It's not like he's like a spy. Like you're just with a guy, and you're all stuck in this situation. It's like, okay, well, now you're one of the boys. You're here with us.
But he would have gotten home, started writing.
How would
looked
they have
into
known?
it.
How would they have known?
They know
How would they
everything.
know to do that?
He writes things on a computer.
It doesn't matter. How would they know to do? They're just talking, and they're not even saying anything bad. We already
No.
saw it.
Yeah.
So why would anybody have that thought process? He's cool. We already
Yeah, I
know.
guess.
We already know what story he's going with because he talked to us about it. He already had his story laid out.
Yeah.
I'm here to look at this, guys. I'm here to see this. Okay, cool. That's it. So we know what his story is.
Yeah.
And now he just overheard us say some things. We don't know that he's going to go and do that. Mm-hmm. Because we don't even think anything we said was that bad.
Yeah.
He made it into something that bad and then put it onto that publication. Mm-hmm. So then it becomes like, shoot. We should have looked into what he was doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I guess.
It's like it was really like a sneak attack.
Yeah. And that was like his first big article too.
Yeah.
So maybe he was surveilled after that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I don't know. Who knows? Is there anything else?
No.
Like, subscribe, and share. I forgot to say it at the beginning, but I'm saying it now. And other than that, we are out.
Bye.